we are working hard to make it happen. Since many people are already here, I would like to start off by welcoming you all. We are not alone. We are part of the Interreg Italy-Croatia TESTEAT project with lead partner Adria. Then, as Scuola Centrale Formazione, we train the trainers for vocational training. So the roll-up is approaching as well. We have the opportunity to have with us Jasenka Caporalin, lead partner of the project manager, and our inspiration. Thank you very much, Lorena. I would like to welcome all the participants, not only on my behalf, but on behalf of the Agency for Rural Development that is lead partner of the TESTEAT project. It's the first time that we are involved in a similar job. A project. I would like to thank all of you for holding a similar meeting connecting all the Adriatic coast, starting from Apulia to Friuli, Istria, and Dubrovnik and Erva region. There's a lot of work behind the organization of this event. Only here today there are more than 20 people present. Cooking is the key that connects all of us. Our typical products presented in a different way, considering all the needs and the special diets that today are needed. I don't want to speak too long. There's a lot of work going on today and tomorrow, and then more sessions in April and September. As a lead partner, I can only wish you all the best with the idea that this work won't be finished here. It will be conveyed by the professors, teachers to their students, to the future generations who at a later time will be able to make better choices for their health and also for food offering of our territory. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jasenka. As I was saying, we are an association. We never work alone. We work with our partner entities. I would like to call Valentina here for her regards, and our purpose is to create opportunities for exchange and sharing. So no one just teaches or just learns, but we have mutual exchanges. So I give the floor to Valentina, who's the manager of the Fondazione Lepido Rocco, who's our member. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, Scuola Centrale, Casa Artusi, and all the people who are here today, because it's a great opportunity to meet, to get to know each other, to understand new philosophies that link cooking with a way of being and feeling. These are not just courses to learn a technique, but also courses to share and learn life philosophy. So I would like to thank our chef, who's about to show us outstanding things, and I would like to thank all our Croatian partners and those who are online right now, because together we grow. This is my payoff. Thank you all. Now, thank you, Valentina. I would like to introduce our technical partner. It's Fondazione Casa Artusi. We have worked with for now over 10 years, always successfully. We've been pleased to seize this opportunity to restart our cooperation. We're old friends, and we had the opportunity to work together already. Now I give the floor to Mattia Fiandaca, who will explain what Casartusi is and will introduce the chef and today's theme. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, Scuola Centrale Formazione and all the project partners for Fondazione Casartusi. It's a great privilege to be available for vocational training. As the people before me said, we are also available for new generations because this is an ongoing exchange that is needed for the future professionals of restaurants and of food. We are named after Pellegrino Artusi, who was a gastronomist, not a cook, born in Forlimpopoli, along the Via Emilia in our region, Emilia-Romagna. We are in the heart of Romagna. Artusi has always dealt with trade, and cooking is a great passion of his, and he has played a huge role by collecting recipes from the different Italian territories, putting them together in a book, Science in the Kitchen and the Art of Good Eating, and creating national gastronomic identity. The book is reprinted, republished, translated into as many as 12 languages. The latest Chinese, but also Japanese and other European languages. Our foundation promotes the values bequeathed by Pellegrino Artusi to Forlimpopoli through the cultural promotion of our products and our specialty food, but also know-how, so the practical experience that you can live in our cooking school that is available to all people who want to spend a few hours in the heart of Italian tradition. Matteo Milandri is the manager of our cooking school and will hold this cooking class. That is an opportunity for confrontation and exchange, as Artusi did. So we will prepare together 3 recipes, right? Along the way, we will present them looking at the ingredients that we need. And Matteo will take you step by step in the preparation of these recipes. You can interact with us for questions, trivia. We have the technical support to be close, even if we are far away. Connected by technology and the screen. So I give you the floor to interact and help. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mattia. Good afternoon. The first recipe we are going to prepare today is a citrus semifreddo with a sesame seed waffle. What do we need in terms of ingredients? So we need egg yolks, sugar, then we have fresh cream, we have candied fruits, oranges, mandarins, lemons. We also have some orange flowers that we will use in a later stage. We have egg white. We have some sesame seed, salt, and corn flour and icing sugar. These are the ingredients that we need today for this recipe that we can start right now and explain. So inside the planetary mixer, we have already split the yolks from the whites. We have 150 grams of yolk, and we start to beat the yolk in the planetary mixer. So we put the yolk inside, and then we start beating our egg yolks. So we didn't say it before, but you can understand it from our preparations. The theme of today is the focus on cooking that takes care of contemporary needs, that is sustainable, even if the word sustainability has various nuances. It's very complex to assess, but in small doses with the right choices, we can create that complex picture that defines a sustainable cooking, so that takes care of the plant-based products, so without using animal products, not because they should be demonized, but because as our Mediterranean culture teaches, we try to take advantage of all the plants that we have available for our cooking. So we have prepared desserts and a plant-based dish, all based on the principle of vegetarian plant-based cooking. Additionally, especially for the pea-based dish, we will understand how to minimize waste. So our cooking avoids waste. It's nothing new. It is part of our identity. Our grandmothers or the past generations that bequeath their customs would have never wasted anything in the kitchen. So we try to revive our traditional culture. So while the yolk is beaten and the sugar is cooked, we put the sugar in a small pan and we put some water to melt it. We will bring it to 121 degrees, and then we will pour it flush into the beaten yolks. In this way, we will create a preparation that is called the pata bomb, which is nothing but the basic structure of our semifreddo ice cream. In the meantime, while the sugar gets to temperature, we grate the zest of the oranges and the mandarins and the citrus in general. We peel the skin. So usually in the preparation phase, the skin is not always valued, but in this case, we only peel the orange part without taking the white part, which is bitter, and then we will put it inside our pata bomb. This way, all the essential oils present inside the skin, and you see that it is very shiny. It means that it has a lot of essential oils, and the hands are left with a nice flavor. So the skin, the grated skin, will enhance our preparation. Now we lower the temperature. Okay, we can mix everything together. So we reached the temperature. So what are we going to do now? We cool down. So we let the temperature cool down, and then we will pour it flush inside the planetary mixer. So now we raise the temperature to the highest degree. Sorry, no, we increase the speed of the planetary mixer. And now we pour the sugar flush. Pouring it slowly. Now let's put some water inside the small pan so that it doesn't stick. And let's continue the preparation. So let's grate all the citrus while Mattia keeps grating the citrus. We prepare the wafer. What do we need for the wafer? So let's start by putting the egg white, the sugar together, and start mixing egg white and icing sugar to create the wafer. Okay, let's mix like this. So once it's blended, we add, once it's mixed together, we add salt. Then we add corn flour. That is the part that will bind our wafer. It is starch, so it's also fit for celiac, so people who are gluten intolerant. So you see that it comes out white, gluish. but all the ingredients need to be blended together. Now let's add sesame seed. These are black, but you can use white ones. Let's mix well and leave it to rest for a few minutes. This way, the seeds rehydrate and absorb part of the liquid. In the meantime, as we said earlier, if you have questions, you can use the chat box to write them of our Zoom meeting so we can interact with people from home. As Rena said, this is a hybrid method, so there are people also in person. So we can talk to everyone. So you can write down questions, trivia, doubts. I don't know if you can see from the camera, but the mix is has changed color. It is foamy. It's a clear yellow because it has incorporated air. And now inside we can add the zest. Perfect. As you can see, we add all the zest and now we put the candied fruit inside. So we choose orange, lemon, and mandarin, but you can choose whatever citrus you prefer. You can prefer the ingredients you prefer. You can change the recipes based on territories, season, taste. There are other citruses like bergamot oranges that are very good. So now we can leave it to rest. In this way, our base will take flavor and smell. And now let's lie our wafer. How do we do that? So we put on our baking tin the mixture. So we start from little. Why did you choose sesame for the wafer? Sesame goes very well together with our preparation. It creates a pleasant contrast with the citrus. So this combination makes the final result very pleasant. So let's spread it thin, very thin. And because you see that when it's cooking with the egg white, it will grow, it will rise. So how long and at which temperature? The oven temperature is approximately 160, 170 degrees, depending on the type of oven that we use, for 10-15 minutes approximately. Then I always say these are approximations. What's important is to actually check the product, and we will see that it will be cooked once the color is golden. So let's put it in the oven. We prepared almost all the steps of this recipe. Then now we have to whip the cream, which takes a bit longer. We will incorporate with the yolks, the pata bomb that we have prepared, and we will form our mixture for the semifreddo that will have to be placed into the blast chiller. So we put the cream inside the steel bowl. You can also use one in glass, but not plastic, because the fat sticks to the sides. So we can use steel bowl, and we whip the cream on a chilled base. I use ice. When the temperature of the fat is very low, it incorporates air better. To go faster, we can use a planetary mixer. It's not a problem. But if you hand whip, you need to chill the bowl to fasten this manual process. So it's a simple whipped cream without sugar or anything else. We are using a plant-based cream. So let's whip it like this, so incorporating air. So handmade takes longer, especially if the quantities are high, but it's also nice to do things manually. When you need to be a bit trained. If you're not trained, you have the planetary mixer, or helping hand like Mattia, who can replace me. Okay, the semifreddo, unlike other preparations, cream-based preparations, which are called sweets, has nothing inside, whether it's jelly or anything else. It only has the yolks with the cooked sugar and whipped cream. Then we put everything in the blast chiller, so there is no gelatin, and there is no other thing. So we whip the cream to put it inside of our bases. It's a semi-whipped, so this is the texture that we have. It needs to adhere to the whisk, but creamy, not fully whipped. And you can see it from the bowl. So we keep it at this level of whipping, because if it's excessively whipped during the mixing phase, we risk damaging the preparation. So first we pour 1/3, and then we mix our preparation from top to bottom, so that it stays foamy. So we show you the steps while we're doing them. So we poured 1/3, and we poured and fixed 1/3 of the cream. Then we add the remaining part, so that it keeps its volume. So let's tip it so that you can see it changes from before, and the mixture is still very soft. And we add the last part of cream. Would you like a taste, Matti? Yes, of course. It's the easiest part for me. Yes, in the meantime, I'll check the wafer. So the citrus that we have used comes from organic farming. The skin is fully edible when you can choose by raw material the finest ingredients. The quality of ingredients always affects the end result. You can be talented, but if the raw material is low quality, the result will not be as high quality as when you use a high quality product. So once you have completed the mixture, you put it in the molds. We have used dome-shaped molds, and then we put it in the blast chiller. How long should it stay? The best to stabilize it would be to leave it there for half a day, so we wouldn't have any problems. So what can we do? We put part of the mixture inside. The most important thing is that before you put the semifreddo in the blast chiller, you shake it a bit so that the air bubble at the bottom should leak out, should blow out. So do it, Matti. We're going to do this thing. It was very pleasant for those who are listening from home, and we are making a bit of a noise, but we have to do it. So we have sort of shaken the tin, and now we level our product. So we can let's put it here, so on the chopping board, so that it can um, flatten it. So now we remove the excess part. of our semifreddo cake dessert. Okay. Do you have questions so far? The preparation is rather simple. Clearly, you have to follow the steps like whipping the cream so that the end result can be as proper as possible. So there are no questions from home for now, so everything is extremely clear. So the product is not yet ready. We have to put it in the blast chiller. So it means that we will be together half a day to wait for the semifreddo to get to the right texture. So let's check the wafer as well. Mm. Does it need a few minutes longer in the oven? Yes, because as we said before, ingredients change from territory to territory, and also the equipment changes. So from this point of view, it's the human experience that makes a difference. While the wafer keeps baking, let's prepare the ingredients from the second recipes. That is a preparation taken from the book by Pellegrino Artusi. He breaks down his recipes by chapters, by servings, which are different from the servings of the courses of the typical Italian menu, but the breakdown of the recipes of Artusi is very precise. It's interesting that he chooses as the first recipe of his book broth, clear soup, because it is the first preparation for home cooking. So the first recipe is broth, and the last recipe is spices, an exotic ingredient that enriches our recipes. Um, Pastry is put at the end of the book. So pastry making. So the recipe is 681, the chapter of pastry making by Pellegrino Artusi. Even if everyone considers him a reference a benchmark for Italian cooking, Pellegrino Artusi mentions many foreign recipes. So you have to be very precise in the dosage that you use, and you for some recipes you can still use the doses mentioned by Pellegrino Artusi. For others, you have to adapt to the new age, so it's up to the cooks to adjust their preparations. So I talked for enough time to prepare the kitchen for the other preparations. When I stop, Matteo leaves, so I have to start talking again. So the wafer is ready. And now we can focus on the second recipe of today. So the ingredients of blanc manger that Mattia has already explained, described. We have milk. In this case, we have replaced normal milk with almond milk. Then we have skinned white almonds, icing sugar, gelatin sheets, um, fish glue, organic soy cream. Then we will flavor everything with orange blossoms. During the preparation, I show you something that is nice to see. Once our mixture is at a temperature of 80-90 degrees below the boiling temperature, we will add fish glue. We cool our product with ice. Then we will add inside cut almonds. In this way, the mixture cools down. The almonds do not fall to the bottom, but remain in the middle, in suspension at the middle of the preparation. So let's go ahead and put almond milk. So if you are familiar with Italian cooking, the citrus semifreddo, because of citrus and sesame, are rooted in the culture of the southern Italy, for example, Sicily, and bianco mangiare comes from Sicily as well. Also because the ingredients, so almonds, orange, sesame, so blanc manger, all ingredients symbolic and reminiscent of southern Italy. And the beauty of Italian cuisine is the constant um, blending with other cultures and other raw materials which came from very far away from Italy, but got rooted in the Italian cooking in these preparations and receipt. In the meantime, we would like to show you the color of our wafer. So it's golden, the right color that we were looking for. And now we let it cool to use later to incorporate in the dish. So we talked about ingredients from other cultures since we are connected with Croatia. Recently, we went to Croatia and we talked about connection points between our two regions. Romagna, that is where Pellegrino Artusi came from, and Croatia are joined by the same sea. Today, the concept of sea is used as a division, but the sea used to be a bridge between different peoples. So, trade by sea existed before roads, railways, and all the road networks that are used to put our products together. And the Adriatic Sea united many products and recipes from the Italian Croatian culture, even if now we are focusing more on southern Italy. This principle applies to many things. So we put almond milk, soy cream. Now we put icing sugar, and now we put it to a temperature of 90 degrees. Since the preparation is still cold, I don't know if you noticed earlier, I had already started mixing the icing sugar with the other ingredients. Now, in our saucepan, we keep mixing. Can I have an additional whisk so that I can help him? So let's mix. It's important that the icing sugar melts so that it doesn't create any sort of lumps. We always need to taste the product. Also during the classes that we had in our facility, I always say to taste the products because they change remarkably uh, throughout cooking. So sometimes it's important to adjust and understand the transformations. Now we add a pinch of salt, which will enhance the flavors, also the almond milk. The temperature should not be too high, otherwise we would risk burning. Sorry, this is the most we can tilt the pan. So aside from heating it um, to blend all the ingredients, we need to warm it to add the jelly. So it doesn't need to boil. You see that it's smoking. It's not clear from the camera. Ah, yes, we can see the smoke. The preparation is hot. So we put the pan on a cloth so that it doesn't impact the cutting board. Then we take the isinglass that was soaked in cold water. So isinglass. So it's important to soak it in cold water. So we soak it and then we squeeze it to remove the excess quantities of liquid, so water. And then we mix everything, making sure that it is molten. So in this, in the meantime, as I was saying earlier, we put inside 1 spoonful of orange blossom water. It's excellent. Okay, 1 spoonful is enough because it's very aromatic. And then it is enhanced by the fatty part in the recipe, that is the soy cream and the almond milk. That enhances the fragrance of the orange blossom. Okay, let's add more so that it becomes very fragrant and aromatic. And then we cool it in the pan with the ice. So we put our preparation inside. We mix. Okay, keep mixing, otherwise the bottom part solidifies, which is in contact with the cold part, otherwise, and the top part remains liquid. So we keep moving it. And in the meantime, we cut our almonds. So we're using white almonds, which do not have, which are skinned. We don't want the skin to be present in the preparation. And then we put the flaked, the chipped almonds inside the liquid so that we have a crunchy part inside, that is the almond. Today we will put our blanc manger inside a cup that is like the one we used earlier for the semifreddo, but you can put it inside a glass cup or a glass tumbler, or use a different form. These preparations need to be made in time because they need to set and stabilize. They need 3 or 4 hours or half a day to make them stable. Sorry, I need a ladle, a wooden spoon. If you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Also from home. I don't know if these recipes were already familiar to you or if any of these was new for you. Also, the fact that we have changed the ingredients to focus on sustainability. Is there something that you would like to share that you noticed? There's something that I didn't say before, which could enhance the preparation. When we put our almonds inside in this way, in flakes, we can add through or 3 or 4 bitter almonds. So it creates more contrast. So such a small amount doesn't take long to cool down. If you have more, it will take longer. So We need to adjust our times depending on the quantity of product that we prepare. You can spread it, for example, on a baking tin, put it in the blast chiller. Our preparation is almost set. So let's put the almonds inside. And in the meantime, we take our cups where we can pour the mixture. So let's taste it in the meantime. So now it has the right flavor and the right texture, so we can put it in our mold first. We pour it inside. Can you give me a small wooden spoon, please? There's also a language barrier here, not just different recipes. A language barrier in Italy. So this is a ladle. It's a steel ladle. It's not a wooden spoon, but without seeing it, I wouldn't know what it was. So you see that its consistency is denser. It is slightly viscous because isinglass is already bonding. So let's try to pour it level with the edge so that we don't have to touch it anymore. It is already setting. It was important to cool it earlier because it's easier to pour and manage it better in this phase compared to a warm or hot liquid. So how long should it stay in the blast chiller at the right time to set? You can store it in your freezer, but if you eat it after making it, you need to put it in the fridge for the amount of time that it takes to set and then to take off the mold. So, what can we eat together? So we have the semifreddo with the wafer. We have blanc manger with the almond. Soon we will have fresh almonds. The 15 days after blooming, the fruits of the almond appears, and if you scale it like a truffle, it gives a mineral and acid taste to the product, so it becomes cooler, fresher. And since we've used both almond milk and skinned almond, we can use the almond fresh, that many people are less familiar with. So the first two recipes have been completed and are cooling, and then we will plate them and show once we have finished the class. In the meantime, we can prepare the third recipe. So let's do the recipe of thickened peas. You said, Matteo, that there's a focus on saving waste. So this recipe is a recipe where we try to use all parts of the green peas, especially during cooking. We will use the cooking water to thicken our peas. I don't know if you can see from the camera. We have split green peas that are soaking since they are dried. They've been soaking for half an hour so that they soak up water and cooking is faster. We have then shelled peas. In this case, we have used peas that are already shelled. You can also use the part of the pod of the pea. You can steam it and then season it as if it were a salad, or you can squeeze it and you can take the liquid and create a sauce. So we are not throwing away the pod because it's very important. So what are we going to do with this recipe? We use shallot, the shelled pea, the split peas already soaked. Then we have almond. Then we have egg white. We will use salt. And then we will add a part of plant-based fat, which is oil. Let's start. You need a saucepan. So what are we going to do first? Let's let's peel our shallot. Which is a typical product from Romagna, and it is widely used. It is sweeter than onion, and it's less pervasive. So let's peel it. and it is we have the Romagna shallot uh, with protected geographic indication. It is elongated and pearl gray colored. What you often find in the supermarkets are more on the purple side. Let's cut it very thin. Let's put some oil in the meantime. So I cut it very thin. So that it can almost become invisible inside the preparation while browning. We need only one shallot for our quantity of peas. Is this enough oil? No, no, let's add more, Matti. Be more generous with oil. Okay, let's put the flame to the minimum and then let's put inside our shallot. So it's a small saucepan and it's enough. So this will be our base for the sauce of the pea cream. Let's add a pinch of salt. Let's season it and mix. Okay, let's use this. So let's use this wooden spoon. Everyone is happy here. So our shallot is frying lightly. Then we will add water, salt, and let it go for 15 minutes after it's browned. In the meantime, let's check the semifreddo. Let's give it 5-10 minutes and then it should be ready. What are we going to do in the meantime? We're making our salted almonds. We are going to put these almonds on top of our preparation to make our dish more more salty, because the main part is sweet. So let's make it more savory. So what are we going to do? We take two egg whites. Mm. Then let's pour inside some salt, 2 pinches. 2 or 3 pinches of salt. So let's mix and beat it a bit. And then we are going to incorporate the almonds. So we need to drain the peas and strain them with a colander, a strainer, sorry. So we put the almonds inside the beaten egg whites with table salt. So we leave them to soak a while. Then we will spread them on a tin, and then we will roast them in the oven. So we add the peas, the shelled peas now. So we've added the shelled peas. Now we cover with water. We will use them as if it were risotto. So we will treat them as if they were rice. We will toast them. We will wet our product with the water of peas. So we toast the rest on the side. So we need another saucepan. So this is the sauce, and we let it cook. In the meantime, let's move on. And use the skimmer. Thank you for the skimmer. So what are we going to do? Maybe you've explained it, but let's repeat it. Why do you put the egg white to salt them? We add the egg white because in this way we make sure that the salt is better absorbed by the almond, and we create a sort of film around it that makes it crunchy. So instead of caramelizing them, sweet, we have egg white and salt. Is this something that you had already said, or is it a repetition? No, it's not a repetition. So we spread them like this. Do we put them in the oven? Yes, we put it in the oven. How many degrees? 160 degrees. The temperature shouldn't be too high. Okay, let's tidy up and check in the meantime. The semifreddo batch should have reached the right temperature. So we can start plating one, even if we still have 1 hour. We're not in a hurry. But let's just complete one dish. Matteo, come to show. Yes, let's check the temperature. As you can see, we can turn out our semifreddo, so it has reached the right temperature of setting. Perfect. So we could already complete the dish. We have the wafer and the semifreddo. If you can give me a flat dish, it's a quick recipe. They weren't ready. Um, we prepared them while you were watching. Very quick to make with plant-based products. If you want to reduce consumption of animal fats, sometimes you can do it without waste, without losing the taste that Pellegrino Artusi talks about when talking about Italian cooking. In terms of plating, feel free to express yourselves as best you think. Today we will plate it like this. So we cut enough the sphere. Then we put our wafer on top, seed-based wafer. It would be ideal to stay away from um, heat sources since it's a cold product. So we could put a sauce. Yes, we can use the part of the fruit that we used earlier to make citrus sauce. We can add some mint leaves to make our dish greener. And in any case, if you wish to give an aromatic touch, an additional touch, you can grate on it some zest, fresh zest. Okay, so the first dish is completed. Our citrus semifreddo with the sesame seed wafer. Perfect. Let's set it aside and later we can taste it. Only those who are here in person, of course. Maybe those who are home right now are also cooking in the meantime. Okay, let's check our peas that in the meantime are cooking, and let's add some more liquid to the preparation. We need a lot of liquid because we will need it in part to blend the peas and in part to cook our split peas. Very simple. This is a recipe where we enhance the pea flavor. We don't have starchy parts inside. We don't have a paste or rice. We don't have pasta or rice, but we use the totality of the pea in different forms. Perfect. So it's the split peas won't break. No, they won't break since they're already split. The consistency is right. Yeah, they're a bit broken basically since they're split. They will never be broken or they won't get too mush. Yes, the texture will remain. Takes 10 to 15 minutes to cook, depending on how long it soaks. You can start from a dry product by constantly wetting it with a liquid. It will take a bit longer, but you can use it already soaked or dried. So in this case, we aren't using it dry, but soaked. Okay, in the meantime, it's cooking. We're almost ready. It's not long. So, is this recipe made on purpose for the cooking class in order to enhance this product? Basically, it's a recipe that comes from the season. We're approaching the pea season. We start finding small quantities of peas, and that's where we develop the recipe from. So this product is usually boiled or sautéed or creamed, but we don't use this product in other ways. We don't use it like the other legumes, like chickpeas. I don't know if the oven has reached the right temperature so that we can put the almonds. Not yet. Okay, so in the meantime, I drain the peas. We need a container. So plant-based cooking has its roots in Italian culture. Pellegrino Artusi talks about plant-based cooking, even if his recipe book it caters to a middle class that was entering the United Italy, politically united Italy, because the book was published in 1891, 3 years after the unification. Artusi also unites Italian people at the table, enhancing all the differences of the various regions and cities. And flats, homes, because Italian cooking is home cooking. The Artusi book has many animal-based recipes because its audience wants uh, rich dishes, but it also caters to country people who employed animals as help in their profession rather than as food. So many plant-based products are part of our popular cooking cuisine. In the book by Artusi, many recipes are soups, preparations like side dishes, all products that are plant-based. Artusi is not the first writer of an Italian recipe book. So the very first recipe book dates back to the 13th century. At the time, there were many recipes taken from the plant world. So Matteo heard these things time and time again. So I'm blending the pea cream, so I'm making a bit of a noise. Shall we put the almonds in the oven? Yes, please, Matteo. Go ahead. 160 degrees, correct? Yes, correct. How long? 10 minutes approximately. So to conclude my speech, the first recipe of Italian cuisine, we had many plant-based recipes, even if in the middle ages the wealthy classes wanted to eat more meat, while the lower classes couldn't afford meat. But many other writers consider plants, herbs, roots, of which Italy is very rich. So the writers include Costanzo Felici, Giacomo Castelvetro, many names, many pens that created um, food history in Italy linked to the plant world. And then our Pellegrino Artusi wrote the first recipe book of Italian cuisine, suggesting the use of vegetables like our Mediterranean diet, an abundance of cereals, vegetables, and then in extraordinary cases, meat. When possible, high quality meat. Knowing where the animal is brought up and slaughtered, given the environmental impact of animal production on our climate. So in the meantime, I'm toasting the split peas with a pinch of salt without addition of fat. Why salt? Salt. I put salt in this phase because it's an initial phase and it's the easiest step where the salt melts better with the addition of liquid. Otherwise, it would only remain liquid in the liquid part and wouldn't be absorbed by the product. We wet it now as if it were. We soak it as if it were cereal. So focusing on plant-based cuisine, you can use other types of cereals like barley or emmer with plant proteins. Can you see it? Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, we have soaked it in the cooking water of our peas. I suggest that you don't put any more salt in the water because there's also already salt. Because we had already put salt in the first step of preparation, and there was salt in the liquid where the split peas were cooked. And it's not like water, which um, leaves with becomes vapor, but it sticks. It's important to use salt, but we have to reduce its use because it's already present in many ingredients that we use. So we're talking both about salt and sugar that is present in many products that we use. So always read the labels, pay attention to what is written, and adjust your recipes accordingly. So the nice thing of having a product that we cook from A to Z is that we know what we put inside. We know what it's inside indeed. How long should it cook? Yes, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how much water it has soaked. So we can treat it as a risotto. We add liquid every now and then, waiting for the liquid to dry. Then we add another spoon of water, of cooking water, of liquid part, and we continue cooking as if it were a risotto. So do you also cream it? Yes, we will do it with some pea cream that we will add midway, so that the flavor improves. Near the final phase, we add extra virgin olive oil that helps bond our preparation. In this case, we don't use the Parmesan cheese, so we can only use plant-based products. Let's check the almond. So let's you can stay here while I'll take the almonds. Let's show it. They need 3 or 4 minutes in the oven because the color is still quite clear. We want them to be more golden, so that they also dry, because this part is still very full of water and it doesn't make our almond crunchy. 4 minutes? Yes, 4 minutes. So let's add some water. I have a question for you. Have you ever cooked peas like this? Do you find yourselves in this cooking? Have you ever used them in this version? Do you always use the shelled pea or also the dry split pea? So we've had a few answers from the people in person. They usually use shelled full peas, but sometimes they also use split peas, not in this version. So this is the first time I see the peas treated this way. Okay, let's keep cooking our product. In the meantime, we're reaching the right temperature. The interesting thing about cooking the split pea like this is that it is always is a bit al dente, crunchy. It has this texture to the taste, which is totally different from what we are used to eating, which gives this pleasant flavor. Now let's put inside the pea cream that we made previously. So far, I haven't sifted it. because I think it's nice to taste everything that is inside, even if it's a bit raw and rough. We still keep all the parts of the pea. We can still sift it to make it smoother and more pleasant to the eye using a fine strainer. Let's put inside the pea cream. This is essential. It's important to add it at 3/4 of the cooking so that it doesn't cook excessively and the color doesn't change. We don't want it to be a darker color. We need a plate to plate this dish. Yes, please. Thank you for the soup plate. As you've seen, these are 3 very simple recipes, a few ingredients that can be made very quickly. It's a prejudice to think that if you don't use meat ingredients in your diet, it's hard to find easy recipes. So you can still make a tasty, high quality product, also using products that are 100% of plant-based origin. Two of these recipes are also from the pastry making, where maybe you think you couldn't lose your milk or cream. It can be done. We're not demonizing certain ingredients because they're part of our culture, of Italian cuisine, what we promote. But it's interesting also because of what we said before. So focus on saving waste, to return to the cooking of the previous generations. Shall we plate the blanc manger? Let's wait a second. So let's tidy up so that they can see your dishing, your plating, sorry. Okay, we're almost there. In the meantime, the almonds should be ready. Do we have another cloth? Perfect. Okay, let me show you. So you see that the color of the almond is completely different. It's crunchy on the surface, dry. And it has the savory fragrance, sorry, taste that we wanted to give the dish. Now, what our peas are ready. So like we did before, let's position our preparation on the table. You see that it's very creamy, as if it were an actual risotto. But you see it better when I pour it in the dish. Let's add some extra virgin olive oil. We cream it outside, not in the on the stove, far from the stove. Even if we don't have cheese or if we don't have something that melts, we cream uh, far from the stove so that the fats start setting, and it will reach the excellent texture for dish plating. Okay, let's do that. Let's plate. So we poured our thickened peas. We do not need to shake them because the preparation is very creamy and soft. Let's plate two so you can taste one. In the meantime, let's take a few almonds. So we put a few almonds whole and some cut, sliced, sorry. So let's tidy everything up. So these are the thickened peas with these slices of salted almond. We have the sweetness of the shallot and the peas in every version. So an excellent match. Plant-based cuisine for everyday cooking. Very simple and very fast to make. If you don't have time to prepare the almonds during the preparation, you can do them in advance because it's dried fruit with added salt. So we made the tritro semifreddo with sesame seed wafer. We have prepared the thickened peas with almonds. And now let's prepare the blanc manger, a pastry making, a pastry recipe number 681 by Pellegrino Artusi in his recipe book, culturally linked to the territory of Sicily because of the ingredients we have used: almond milk, orange blossom. Does it need a few minutes? So it's changed from the preparation of Artusi because to make it fully plant-based, we replaced whipped cream with soy cream. So we cannot yet plate the blanc manger. It's not ready yet. So the Bottura, Massimo Bottura, is a famous Italian chef. Osteria Francescana Modena. So one of the best chefs worldwide for many years. He said that he became famous also thanks to a mistake. So making mistakes in the kitchen is allowed. So mistakes make you better. This is a message that trainers should transmit to the new generations to explain how when one makes mistakes can grow. Also a person like Bottura, a great chef. So he got this winning card thanks to a mistake. A pie that fell, and he was talking about it during an event in Siena. He's a sous chef, was a Japanese guy. During the last service, by mistake, um, dropped the jam tart, but Bottura saw in this mistake the genius, so they served this broken jam tart, which became a symbol of Italian cuisine, as if it were a Pollock of cuisine. In the meantime, we managed to plate the blanc manger. Okay, let's plate another one for people from home. Do you have another soup plate? So this is a very simple plating, traditional plating. So as I was saying before, we can add fresh almonds when they are available. Uh, is it is it very bitter? No, it's a mineral, sour, fresh. So it gives some freshness to our plates. And this is Blanc Manger recipe number 681 of Pellegrino Artusi, taken from Scienza in Cucina e Arte del Mangiar Bene, translated in many languages worldwide. With the Italian diplomatic network in Croatia, we're trying to translate the book into Croatian, but we have already translated it into 12 languages worldwide. Because the book by Artusi is still very interesting for Italian history and culture because of what um, it contains trivia, anecdotes, everything that allowed Italy to unite at this time at the table at the end of the 19th century, where Artusi made cooking a tool for national unity. No one believed in Florence in the success of this book, but he decided to publish it at his expense. So he was forward-looking. Okay, we are available for the Q&A, I suppose now. Sorry, we cannot hear the question. Okay, let's recap the recipe of the split peas. We used both split peas soaked in cold water. On the side, we made a base with extra virgin olive oil, shallot. We added some pinches of salt to brown it, and then we added shelled peas, whether fresh or frozen, however you can find them. We put in the preparation the peas, then we soaked in water and we let it cook for 20 minutes. Then it depends on the texture of the pea. Large amounts of water because we needed to blend the peas and to cook the split peas as an actual risotto. So as for the pod of the peas, it's very important to reuse the pods. How can we do that? We can both take out the liquid inside and then with water we create a sauce, or we can steam it and cut it thin and season it as so boil it or stew it and then season it as a salad. This is something that we can use for the pod of our pea so that we don't waste it. It's a large part of our product that should be announced. So split peas, we cream them with the pea cream and the cooking water from the peas. We add a pinch of salt, a drop of oil at the end, and then we add the salty almonds that we prepared by adding some beaten white, 2 pinches of salt in the oven at 160 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the type of oven. Once out of the oven, they should be crunchy and golden colored, and they will be the salty part, the savory part of the dish, since it's already sweet because of the pea, the shallot, the cream. And this is the part that creates a contrast that enhances the dish and balances it. So what Matteo said about the use of pods is very important. When we buy the peas fresh, we can use all every part of the piece so that we can optimize our expenditure and we can save. So we paid for the pods as well, and we shouldn't waste them. And you realize that the cost of raw materials impacts uh, the management of a restaurant. So we use fully all the products that we buy to save money in terms of cost of raw materials. Are there other questions? Otherwise, as Lorena said at the beginning of the meeting, it's all recorded. So if you watch it later, you can uh, repeat these recipes if you have doubts, and you can write to us. There's no problem about it. The purpose is once you go back to your kitchens, to your schools, you can use these recipes. They shouldn't be left on paper, but be remade, recooked, so that we can convey our knowledge to you once you're home or when you rewatch. I would like to take the opportunity to thank warmly our chef and our gastronomist for the passion they conveyed in the lesson. I would like to thank the participants for being with us, very attentive and available for dialogue. So we are in Caorle. We have our colleagues from Lancedigo and from Cividale del Friuli. So it was an opportunity to meet in person and to socialize. We're all colleagues in the project. And I believe that this is a very important moment to get to know each other and to collaborate and to get new ideas. This was the first day of this training of trainers. You all know that there will be one more tomorrow afternoon from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. We will be connected from Casartusi for Limpopoli, so we will have another set. You will see another teaching kitchen equipped for training and for demos. It will be the opportunity to see the workshops and understand technical solutions depending on the purpose of the use. This is the kitchen of restaurant class, cooking class. Tomorrow you will see another type of experience that caters to um, ordinary people as well. So a solution that shows us how the message of learning to cook together is also a source of attraction for the visitor who wishes to know, experiment, not just eat at a restaurant, but also learn how to cook, see the raw materials, the procedures, the practice, and the tradition and culture behind the preparation of a dish. So tomorrow we'll meet back online at 2 p.m. I would also like to thank our Croatian partners, any other partners of Scuola Centrale Formazione who connected remotely. We reached a peak of 18 people online from Dubrovnik, from Pula, from Apulia as well, from Lombardy. That is not admissible territory, but once you do something for Italy, you do it for all of Italy. So thanks again to our two young and talented chef and gastronomist. See you tomorrow online. We will have two more meetings in April on a new topic, and we will be back with you. Thank you all. Do you have comments? Otherwise, we can say goodbye, and those in person can taste. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.